All right, everybody. How's everybody doing? Everybody good?
Yes.
Feeling good? I'm going to let you guys leave here very shortly. I'm going to talk to you for a little bit, though. All right? And so, my name is Jermaine Hampton. I'm the Director of Workforce Development with LADC. And I'm very happy that you all came here today. First and foremost, I want to say that our mission is reinventing our economy to collaboratively advance growth and prosperity for all. You guys have heard that common thread through a lot of the presentations today, right? And connecting with individuals and understanding what's going on in our communities and making sure that folks have the same opportunities as others, no matter what background that you come from. And so these things are very important as we kind of move through what's going on with Gladio Los Angeles. Gladio Los Angeles is an amazing tool. You know, my name, like I said, I'm Jermaine Hampton. I'm one of those folks that I come from an interesting background, very similar to Dr. Gideon, who spoke about Compton, right? I was privileged enough to have an opportunity where I was born in Detroit, Michigan. I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, and I've kind of come along and kind of fell into this type of work primarily because of my passion, primarily because of the piece that I love to change lives, and I love to see what that looks like. And so coming to LA, I've run programs in Atlanta, Georgia. I've run programs in Washington, D.C. for Mayor Muriel Bowser and her initiatives. And one thing about it that I've seen across the U.S., because I've been working across the U.S., is the disparity, the gaps, the issues, the challenges. And things got much worse as the COVID-19 pandemic hit. A lot of our communities did not get the resources that they need, and they still do not have the resources. We still lack a lot of the connectivity in households, individuals suffering from mental health and awareness issues, addictions and drug abuse, crime and poverty. These are all huge things, right? And so one thing, growing up, I have a cousin that I grew up with, right, in Detroit. And I would always go back in the summer, my father, he got us out of Detroit primarily because of the fact that he was a computer engineer. He went to Wayne State University and graduated. And then went on to work for IBM. A lot of you guys remember IBM, right? MCI, right? And so now he's a software architect for DoD, one of the highest people in his pathway, right? My mother, she raised us, me and my brother, and she's now a successful partner and co-owner of a very successful HR firm in Washington, D.C., and they're both soon to retire. And so, growing up, I had opportunities because I was able to emulate what I saw. I was able to see opportunity because my parents were hardworking. And so while they weren't home a lot because they were always working, I'm very thankful for it. I'm very thankful for it because it crafted me into who I am today. But a lot of folks that I grew up with didn't have those same chances. They didn't see those same opportunities. They didn't have the same role models or mentors, right? Connectors. They didn't have the same network. They didn't have that, in the community, you have to see it, and you have to see it to want to be able to do it. And if you don't ever get out of certain communities, you don't ever see anything different. My cousin was a victim to that, right? He got involved in a lot of things that he wasn't supposed to. We were the same age. We're both very talented athletes. That's the reason why I got into school. It wasn't because of my parents. It was because I was good at sports. And then when I got into school, then I kind of found other ways to make a living when I no longer wanted to pursue sports anymore, right? And so my cousin had, a lot of things that he wanted to do. And then one day I got a call from my aunt. And my aunt tells me on the phone while I'm at school, I'm in my dorm and kind of just chilling out and stretching my legs from track, and tells me, your cousin's been killed. And so I bring that up because I need you to understand the opportunity that you have with Gladio Los Angeles. Okay? And now that I have your attention, just maybe, if this tool existed back then, maybe he could look at some other things and other ways to make money. And maybe he doesn't even get involved with the gang. Right? Whether you're in poverty or growing up in certain disinvested communities, or whether you are in a very affluent neighborhood, you may come from working parents, white collar, blue collar, it really doesn't matter. You need tools to be able to be successful. You need opportunities to be able to be successful. You need a network, okay? There's so many different things that are happening in Los Angeles right now And what you have to understand is if you don't understand the dynamics in the economy here in Los Angeles, you will not be successful. Because you're going to lack the opportunities and the knowledge. Knowledge is power, as you all have heard. Right? And so you have to be able to understand what's going on. Glad that Los Angeles brings that very piece, that very thread through every single household. It brings that thread. Whether you are in the nonprofit sector right now, whether you're in the public sector right now, whether you are in philanthropy, we have partners all in this room right now who can change a life. We have partners all in this room right now who have changed a life. One thing, one of my mentors, a lot of you probably heard of John Hope Bryant. Have y'all, anyone heard of John Hope Bryant? A lot of you probably have. One of my unofficial mentors. You know, it's hard to get his ear sometimes, but when I do, one of the things he always says is that everyone can do. Everyone has a PhD. A PhD-doer. Okay? The ability to make things happen. So real quick, before I talk to you a little bit more, and I want to talk about some of our partners in the room, I want you to look at the person on the left and say, wait, look at the person on the left. First to the left, and tell that person, give back and give thanks.
Give back and give thanks.
Now look to your right. Same thing.
Give back and give thanks.
The reason why I say that is because a lot of times in our communities we don't give back and give thanks. We don't pay things forward. We don't bring the information that we learn in our circles and our tables back to the community so that they can change their lives. And it doesn't matter what dynamic you're from. Just because you're in an affluent community doesn't mean that your mother and father are at home teaching you about the in-demand or high-growth sectors in Los Angeles County. They may be teaching you about their job or the type of work that they do, right? When you're in an underserved community and working in certain silos, right? You don't see certain things. You emulate what's around you. You emulate gang members. You emulate people who are doing nothing with their life. If you hang around 10 people, okay, that are doing nothing, 9 people that are doing nothing, you should be number 10. Period. And so we have to change all of that. We have to bring this full circle and bring opportunities both to the classroom. We have to bring these opportunities to the households. When you're driving your kids and dropping them off to school, we have to integrate this type of thread and these sectors and the information and the data into the work that we do every day. And so once again, I want to thank all of our partners that have came. We have tons of partners in here. Private, public, unified school districts, community colleges, right? Universities. Everyone in here is in a position to change life. And so one of my calls of action is to take this back into your circles, into your networks. Talk to this platform, talk about this platform to your kids, to your partners, to your colleagues, and spread the wealth, spread the information, learn it. One of the greatest things on here, my son's 15, right? He's not even thinking about a career, but I had him sit down and take the Strength Finders assessment on Gladio Los Angeles because I need him out of my house. And so, because he eats a lot. So the thing about it, I say that to say, he took the Strength Finders assessment and it came back with all of these wonderful opportunities that are here in the LA County region. And that's huge. One of the first things that he talked about is, Dad, what's a biotech engineer? I said, I don't know. Let's talk about it. Let's go look at it and let's research and let's figure it out. He was able to see what the median wage is for that position. He was able to see featured employers, right? These are all important things. He's able to see the educational pathway. Can he get a certificate? Can he do an apprenticeship, right? Can he go to a community college? Does he need a 4-year degree? These are all things that are at his fingertips. And then guess what? He shared it with his cousin. And his cousin did the same thing. And then now they're in a great school, right? And they're going to share it with their school and people that they know. And so we got to kind of continue that because it's not just about youth. There's upskilling. There's folks that need to be reskilled. There's McDonald's workers that do not want to work at McDonald's for the rest of their life. Right. But do they know what opportunities are available for them? Do they have to get lucky and somehow come across a great case manager that's able to change their life? It shouldn't be that. It should also not be an anomaly for somebody from Compton to be in Dr. Gideon's position.
Yep.
Right? It should be a norm. It should be something that happens all the time. Okay? And real quick, because we have our partners from LAWA here, I want to highlight LAWA because LAWA has pathways and infrastructure, and that's one of the biggest things. And I thank the Conrad Hilton Foundation for the work and the seed funding to begin out Glad Los Angeles, and also our partners from the James Irvine Foundation, who also provided seed money to start Glad Los Angeles. And so real quick, I want to kind of just bring up the video and let the video introduce our partner from Los Angeles World Airports. And then I'm going to put her on the spot real quick just to come here and say a couple words before I allow you guys to go out and go eat